Hello. Welcome back to our channel. I know. It's been a while. But we're back. So if you're leaving, you know that I'll be waiting for you. I'm just a crosshair. I'm just a show away from you. Ah, yes, the Nissan Patrol Safari, also called the GQ or Y60, a truck that never seemed to die, typically because it's a cult classic for being an ultimate 4x4 and very reliable. I mean, it also looks the part. And I'm talking about no smooth curves or complicated edges anywhere here. Every angle of this truck just shouts 4x4. This particular GQ is the 97 to 99-ish variant. So that means it's got a couple of tweaks that make it different from the older generation GQs. We'll get to those tweaks later. Damn, I love this truck. Talking about the sense of nostalgia, I used to ride one of these in multiple road trips. And it rides rough. Pretty rough, due to its 4x4 nature. It's in this generation of the Nissan Patrol when Nissan ditched the old leaf springs, or what we call molye, and replaced it with coil springs. The suspension of these are easily replaceable, with tons of aftermarket parts available as well. They still, however, kept the front and rear solid axles. It may not be as comfortable as independent suspension, but it's great for overlanding. For a time, this truck has disc brakes at the rear also, which is non-standard before. So this is one of the first trucks to have four-wheel disc brakes. So there's a lot of firsts on this truck. That's why people love them so much. Going back to the exterior, this door handle, it feels all metal and clunky. The side mirrors are big, making this thing very maneuverable, but definitely not aerodynamic. You can just see the aerodynamics of this thing. Look at that. I'm just kidding. This thing is not aerodynamic at all. Just look at that silhouette. It's not really the best highway cruiser because of its shape, so you got a lot of wind noise coming in. Never corner blind again with these side lamps. God, I wish all cars had these. Yes, the old school roof gutters. This is where you'd find rust in one of these. Very common thing for Nissan Patrols is that they would rust out. That'll cause problems. And the hidden third brake lamp here. And of course, your spare wheel. You'd think that the Nissan Patrol is quite big or sizable, but the thing is, it's just the fenders and over fenders that make it really big. Now we hop inside to see what's going on in here. Inside, you got the finest dashboard that Nissan in the 90s has to offer. A bold mixture of rectangles, squares, and of course, more circles. Nothing in this dashboard may match, but we can all agree that they're all color black. That's racist, bro. The gauge cluster is all business, because everyone who owned one of these back in the day are either businessmen or kidnappers or bad guys and such. In true 90s fashion, the entertainment system is down below, which means looking for your favorite tunes is a stare down with death. Equipped with the latest infotainment system from the 90s, it's even got an altimeter to show how high you are from eating your last edible. The antenna is power adjustable, because if it's not power, you're peak poor. The materials in the door panels, like this fake leatherette plastic thing, and it's just cloth, which makes it feel a little bit quality, you know. Got an ample storage here for, I don't know, this is an S21, so that can barely fit, but it fits. Diff locks to get you out of that sticky situation. And of course, the most 90s cloth seats that the 90s can offer. Bolstering is decent, and it can definitely hold your fat ass for hours. Jeez, are you saying that patrol owners are fat? The cubby hole is a refrigerator. It's to hold your Diet Coke, you fat bastard. Steering wheel means business. It's a no-fuss, all-business, all-black steering wheel. And just like all black things, they simply work. You just had to do it, didn't you? Common issue for these Nissan Patrol Safaris are the A-pillars that leak water. So when it rains really hard, they would tend to leak in places like this area right here. That's quality workmanship. The passenger is also equipped with the latest safety innovation, and the design is very human. This grab handle, also known as the oh shit handle, is for the passenger to grab on during tough situations, or you can simply hit the brake very hard for the passenger to just shut up. This model is equipped with a 5-speed manual. The 4x4 lever is right beside it for instantaneous drivetrain shifting. Very old school, but it's got chrome door handles in the 90s. And the other thing is the fact that it's a pretty tight cabin for the rear passengers. As you can see, this is a child seat. The space in between this front passenger seat and the baby seat is already just a hand length, actually. This truck may be big, but it's pretty tight inside. Who cares about legroom when you've got all of this headroom? This can fit Yao Ming probably. Oh, Jesus Christ. This hood is so heavy and huge. Under the hood is Nissan's iconic TD42 engine. It's a 4.2 liter straight 6. This behemoth of an engine produces about... Okay, I know what you're thinking. It doesn't sound much. And you know what? It is not much. I'm not here to defend it. It's very slow. But hey, it's got torque. It's not the most powerful torque, but it's got it. But here's the part when I tell you that this engine is not famous for having that much power. It's famous because it's super kaduper reliable. That cast iron block goes all the way to 1,000,000 kilometers. It also uses timing gear instead of a chain or a rubber belt. So just put oil in them and they'll run forever. Another thing to note is the fact that this thing is made in Japan. So, it doesn't get any more JDM than this. JDM number 1. It's not all roses and daisies for the TD42 though, because at the end of the day, nobody's perfect and we all got our... Up until the mid-90s, Nissan thought of cost-cutting on the engine. They said it was too reliable. So, they cost-cutted on the pistons, make it lighter, and they changed a few components and they made it suck. Those engines are known as the silver top. This particular unit we got here though is from 1998 onwards, where they introduced the black tops. So this is where they realized, oh, we made a mistake, we gotta bring it back and give them better engines again. Don't get me wrong though, silver tops are still very reliable, you just have to leave them stock. Another famous issue of the Nissan Patrol and the TD42 engines are overheating issues. This usually happens when you are overlanding or when you're on a mountain road where there are steep climbs and stuff. Yeah, it overheats. So when you're planning to trail one of these, prepare to upgrade the cooling system. So how does this thing drive? I actually got a decent amount of seat time with the Nissan Patrol, and here are a few things that I did not expect from it. Number 1 is the fact that this is pretty easy to drive actually. Steering wheel was light, clutch was soft, it was easy to roll the gears, and frankly, it was kinda relaxing to drive. Windows and side mirrors were huge, meaning that you can see everything easily. I mean, when it comes to the driving dynamics, there's really nothing to complain about this thing. Everything was where it should be, and it just works. Number 2 is the fact that the engine never struggled wherever we brought it, despite the fact that it was pretty weak on paper. Number 3 is the fact that it was pretty versatile to drive around the city. The TD42 engine is very responsive, and it's just super easy to adapt driving this thing. That makes bullying people on the road very attainable. Ding. Number 4 is the fact that it's kind of tedious to drive this in long distances. Bringing this out on the highway, it's not an enjoyable experience. A combination of wind noise, tire noise, and the rough riding suspension, it will really eat away on your back, your ass, and your soul. Out here on the mountain roads, it was even worse. The gear ratios were terrible and man. Number 5 is the fuel consumption. It was horrendous. 5 to 7 kilometers per liter in the city, that's pretty understandable. But 5 to 7 kilometers per liter on the highway and mountain road? That's just laughable. And the final thing I've noticed while I was driving this thing is just utter road presence and confidence. I don't know, it might be the steel bumpers talking, but people don't want to mess with you when you're driving one of these things. And that for me is money well spent. I don't know, it's either people fear these things or maybe there was a history there. I don't know, maybe it's just me, something about presidents and Armalites and whatnot. But these days, I guess that's the point of the patrol anyway. It's now seen as an icon more than anything. Yeah, engine is weak and it sucks a lot of fuel, but nothing matches the confidence of riding one of these. Because I know at the end of the day, out of all the vehicles, this is the one that's gonna get me home. Did you also notice how messy the interior was? That's because this Nissan Patrol is used to bring the kids to school. And honestly, how fucking cool is that, right? Bring the kids to school every day and have fun on the trails on the weekends. The action never stops. Little Kevin spilled his juice box on my seat. Alright.